Yo, can y'all hear me? Hey, Cynical, can you hear me? Hello. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if y'all can hear me in the chat. You heard? Nah, it was supposed to be for I'm an hour behind, so over here I set it up for 11:45. So I'm assuming if you're in the East Coast, it would have been for 12:45 and shit. Only fact salute, Keisha salute, Street Queen salute, Nicole salute. Appreciate Cynical, all y'all. Appreciate everybody pulling up. I see nobody was live. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me go live and talk a little bit of shit. Keisha, I appreciate you. Yeah, that's a Cynical. That would have been in 20 minutes. I just set it up for that time just so I can get into my other device. And, you know what I'm saying? I could get wrenches out and shit like that. Y'all hang tight for 1 second. Wait. Last time I went live, I couldn't do it. That shit had me a little tight. I was like, damn. I usually could do it. You heard? You know, y'all know I like to be a little messy and shit like that. I just didn't want to be too messy on my other jump off. You heard? Y'all know I don't really like you know this. I don't really hold on to shit. You know what I'm saying? But especially with females and shit like that. Even if I got, you know what I'm saying, feel some type of way, I really don't be trying to wild and shit like that. So you know, I be for the most part, I leave that kind of shit alone. But you know, this sucker ass niggas like Sean Prince nigga. I'm gonna say his name because I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes motherfuckers be like, if you don't say their name, you know what I'm saying? They be like, oh well, he wasn't talking about me. Nah, I'm talking about that sucker ass nigga. You heard? Yo, Ralph, what up? Appreciate you pulling up. Um, you know, the dude's a clown. You know what I'm saying? For the reason I'm talking about this shit is because for months since last year, you know what I'm saying? I said the story where he started talking to me in his chat, and he was like, "Yo, OG, what up?" He started talking to me from his from. He started talking to me from his from he was on the panel. I was in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And he was straight meat gobbling. You heard? Yo, you an inspiration. Yo, you one of them. You know, then the Latin stained pussy ass nigga uh violates him, runs him off of YouTube, calls his sister, does all this violation to him. Months later, he was talking about, nah, I rock with Henny Ming and this was in the beginning. I rock with Henny Ming and DBN. And then he went to some other shit. Stain, you know, Stain be putting pressure on him. I can't stand Stain. I'll bust Stain in the face, pause. But Stain put pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? These are facts. There's certain people in the sector that Sean Prince is scared of, terrified, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And Stain happens to be one of them. For real. Because then, after Stain violates him and runs him off of YouTube, y'all remember he did the live, it's going to be my last live, this is that and the third. Stain gets in his DM and he calls me. He calls me on Instagram. This was after. Let me rewind a little bit. He called me first from. Y'all know. Shout out to OG. Y'all know OG goes to the park. OG will go to where he's gonna work out at. He'll set his phone down. He'll make sure that he's in the frame of wherever he's gonna work out, and then he'll go live. That's respectable. He's doing it live for YouTube. It's content. But OG ain't never called me. Ain't none of the people that I rock with on and off of YouTube ever called me behind the scenes and prop their phone up before they even push the call button and set it down and then stood back, picked up some dumbbells. Not only, it's not like he was just picking them up. When I answered the phone started ringing. It only rang a few times. I seen who it was. When I answered, he had the dumbbells behind his head, like doing some weird workout. And I'm like, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Instantly, I felt uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what up? He's like, nah, I just want to talk to you and shit like that. Like, yo, you motivated me. You know what I'm saying? You know how he talks like he tries too hard, and you could see that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this shit was wild awkward. That shit is wild awkward. Not even my family does that shit with me. You heard? So I was like, damn. I was like, yo, I gotta go and do shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you back. He's like, all right. Boom. Maybe the shit might have lasted 20 seconds if that. You know what I'm saying? To my mind, till I see what was going on, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Anyways, months later, Stain gets into his DM and fills his head up with mad shit. He calls me and he's like, yo, honey, I wanted to ask you about the stuff. Stain hit me up behind the scenes and said X, Y, and Z. This dude is a nobody. And I'm talking about Sean Prince. He's a nobody to me. So first I stop and I think, and I'm like, this is the way my mind works. As a man and as a father, I would understand anybody's point of view. I don't care if you don't mean nothing to me or if I don't fuck with you. That's not what it's about. It's about, you know, me and the principles I have and morals and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? And he tells me these things, and I'm like, listen, man, I could have just told him to suck a dick, right? Just like that. Yo, eat up and keep it pushing. I didn't. I was like, yo, I said what it was. I'm like, nah. I'm like, why you? I explained to him, I don't have an issue with explaining to nobody nothing. I don't have to. I do that shit by choice. Soon as I get done, he's like, I'm saying, I got mad respect for you. That's why I hate you behind the scenes. Like, if I didn't fuck with you and didn't think you was like a sturdy nigga, I would have just went live and addressed it like that. But you know, but being the amount of respect I got for you, I decided to call you behind the scenes. And plus, from the person it was coming from, I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's done mad crazy shit and lied to me and shit like that. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. He was like, nah, I respect that. Cool. A few weeks later, I see a couple people go on his panel, and this is what he's pumping. Granted, he did say on his panel, I don't want to talk about that Henny shit, leave that shit alone. He even kicked people off his panel. But then after that, I saw how he was moving. He like a little strange. You know what I'm saying? Then, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to say nothing bad about Shorty. But this is just part of the... we're talking about Sean Pussy Ass Prince, you heard? This is just part of the story. So, Shorty, if you're in the bushes, please don't take no disrespect. I'm just going to say what made this sucker pussy ass nigga get mad at me. He had a situation where there was a certain somebody, you know, y'all know about the whole feet thing, right? Alright. He jumped into Shorty's DM and she spun him. Because she told me about it right then and there. She was like, yo, guess who just hit me up? She said, this bird ass nigga, but I just told him that I was out with the hubby and shit like that, that I'll hit him up later, and I'm not hitting that bozo ass nigga up. I didn't say nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I knew about it when he started seeing in my chat who was coming to my chat. That shit just got him bigger. He started trying to pump the same shit my baby mom was out here trying to pump. He tried to say this nigga got the monster and say all this shit. And I'm like, look at this sucker hating ass nigga. Alright. So I told the nigga, I'm like, yo, you got an issue, we could do that. He didn't say nothing. He just fell back. He fell back from all the, I'm there's some weird shit going on. I'm not fucking with all this shit. Alright, cool. Fast forward to last week. Not only that, let's rewind a little bit too. He's done lives here and there where you know, he's just rambling. He's just fucking up there yapping. And I'm not gonna diss the people in his chat because I fuck with some of them, but he's just yapping. And he's mentioned, he's called me, I don't say nothing about him or nothing. He's called me R. Diddy. I said this story on my platform. I said this story about the bag of chips. The whole bag of chips situation. I said that story. Ain't nobody come out and say that. I said that story. Somebody sends me a DM. Yo, so I go and look. While I'm on live, I go and look to see what he's talking about. And there he is, calling me all kinds of weirdo, and yo, this and yo, that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he doing this? I'm like, he took my story and spun it. He spun it, right? And I'm like, oh, there's some hating that shit. This nigga's bitter. He's definitely bitter. So what I say, I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expose, but I told him, I'm like, bro, you mad because Shorty was in my DM and she spun you? She didn't spin nothing. I wasn't. And I'm like, I got the screenshot. That's what I told him, right? Yeah, but I wasn't telling. As soon as I told him that, he knows that I was willing to go to don't lie, because then if I show something, you're gonna look stupid. Kind of like he tried to do with OG, with the whole call Officer Kyle Williams. Y'all remember? No. And then when OG went and came back and proved, yeah, you can stop playing it. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Shout out to DBN. DBN said the other day, just be who you say you are. You heard? Bruce, salute. Appreciate you pulling up. If you out here pretending like you're somebody you're not, and then they pull your card, you're gonna look like a sucker, yo. You're gonna look like a sucker. There's nothing wrong with just acting like yourself. If you're not like that, but you're not pussy, that's okay. But don't try to make yourself sound like a gangster. You heard? Don't try to make yourself. Oh shit, we gotta that shit's mad loud. Don't try to make yourself look like a gangster, because we can see that shit. We can see how you carry yourself. We can see how you talk to people. We can just see that shit. You pulled the stuff the other day, cause this nigga called you. He showed the receipts. A 3-second call. You talking about that shit rang, and it woke you up until it went to voicemail. This nigga comes and shows something different. Then you're up there. Rose goes up there and texts him like, yo, bro, I think you're in the wrong. Automatically, he's like, yeah, you right. I fuck with DM. He's one of the, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you was just telling him to eat a fucking infested fucking Matuski. That's what you was up there saying. Talking about you want to cut him and do this and the joke of this and the joke of that. Bro, dude, that shit sounds so fucking hilarious to me, man. You. Alright, so check this out, right? I said what I was saying about what happened months ago. He was pumping the same shit my baby mom was pumping. He was out here trying to fucking slander me, calling me on Diddy and say all this shit. Alright, when I asked him, yo, what's up? You want to do something about this? Nah, he left it alone. He didn't want. I'm a nobody. He says, I'm a nobody. Shot salute. He says I'm a nobody. Respectfully, like, yo, you gotta stand in the back of the line type shit. I got bigger fish. Like, you know, there's bigger people I can get at. Alright. So why every time you get a chance or you want to throw a fucking low blow, you're talking about R. Diddy? Why? What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So the other day, I happened to see Mikey B. Shout out to Mikey B. And I can't think of the name. I can't think of the. I just got a text message. I got an order coming in and shit like that. So, Smitty, and shout out to Smitty Brim. I I didn't notice immediately that he was up there. I seen he had Mikey B had a panel for the people, and I heard him start talking. And he was like, he mentioned a couple people from the dirty sector. He didn't mention me, but I heard him say, yo, you know what I'm saying? You know how he talks. You know they be thinking. He's a super duper bird. You heard? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm a anybody. I'll do this. I'll do that. All right. So I start automatically to thinking. I'm like, so why? I mean, cool. I'm with that. Rose Gold, shout out to Rose Gold. Rose Gold hasn't done live in a minute. Last week, but they had something going on up there, so I wasn't going up there. I went up there in the beginning to salute him, and then I boogie when somebody hit the panel. So I hear him say this, and I'm like, all right, but I already had this in my mind. To see him around somewhere and call him out. But then that whole situation with DBN happens, right? He talks about that shit, whatever. This is not why I went on Rose Gold's panel on Saturday and told him to hit up Mikey B and set it up for me and him. Set it up. You heard what they said up there. You heard, shout out to 1609. You heard what 1609 said. Yo, that dude is like 6 feet. You know, Henny, you're like 5'5". That's what he said. I'm 5'7", but this is what 16 said. You know what I'm saying? Sean, you got an advantage, they say, you heard? They say your reach is longer, you heard? This should be a walk in the park for you. Gangster, you heard? That's all. I don't want to drive, spin the block, and cause you any physical harm. I don't want to spin the block and cause your family any physical harm. You heard? I want to be on the net talking about it, my nigga. I just said once, I just did, called it out. I went up there and I called you out. You had said months ago, Rose Gold's panel, I can't wait to roll because I'm going to trust mad of these niggas. That's like a safe space. That's like a neutral ground. All right, so I waited till Rose Gold went live and I went up there. I asked him if it was all right. He gave me the go ahead. I didn't super duper violate you. I just said call Mikey B and set it up. I'm with that. That's what I said. I might have called you pussy, but that's true. I didn't lie nowhere. So, I don't know if it was that day. Yeah, it was that same night. That same night, he does a live. Rose pulls up, and that's when he starts talking about the whole, the whole DBN shit, and like he jumped the gun after you shot such a sturdy ass nigga that you say DBN is. Like OG, shout out to OG in the wrap up last night. Like OG said, if that's your man, and Angle said the same shit. If that's your man, that should have just been a phone call. Or if you know DBN's a sturdy nigga, you know if he's gonna call you about something, he's gonna stand on that. The minute you saw it was a missed call and not rang like you said, and the shit went to voicemail, right? If the shit would have if you seen it was just a 3-second shit, automatically my mind's gonna say, it must have not been that important if you hung up, and if it is that important, he'll call back. You heard? Or next time I see him, I'll be like, damn, well, yo, what you wanted? If that's my man, you heard? But to tell, if me and somebody are beefing, and I disrespect your girl or your wife, you know what I'm saying? And you disrespect mine, alright, cool. But to get on live and talk about actually a bitch, if that's weird calling a nigga at 4 in the morning, that's violation. You violating that man's wife. You just violated, right? Non-stop. That wasn't why I asked you to box. That's why I just heard you talking tough on Mikey B's joint. You heard? That's what I heard you do. You talk around in these YouTube streets how tough you is. That's what I was doing, just calling you out. So then, yesterday, somebody hits me up and like, yo, he's live and he's mentioning you. Rewind it like 3 minutes. So I go over there and I rewind it for a few minutes. Shout out to everybody, hit the like button. I reminded like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know. And I'm listening. And he's like, he starts talking to the chat. Shout out to Tavon, you heard? He's like, yo, listen to this shit. Listen to this shit. And he starts playing Rose's shit when I called him out. He's like, all this because I talked about BBN. Again, making up shit. You know why you making up shit? Because you can't stand on what you stand on. And then you walk around talking about you's a real nigga, son. That's what you say. You's a real nigga, son. If I was trying to defend DBN would never, number one, DBN would never ask me to do no shit like that. Number two, if that's what I was doing, I would stand on that. You heard? Yo, that's my man. Stop. But that's not what that was about at all. You mad pussy, nigga. You mad pussy. And not only can the real ones tell, but guess who else can tell? The ladies, you heard? The ladies. You talking about all this, how niggas be having all this energy towards women. I just see, shout out to New Jersey J. I got no smoke with her. I seen New Jersey J doing the premiere earlier. You was on the panel of all live talking about how niggas be having energy like that for women, but they don't have the energy for men. I've seen you violate the women in your chat for no reason, respectfully. Degrading them, trying to shame them and shit. Like, you don't do shit like that. Somebody gets on a panel and fucking says, why is even BBN, why are you even thinking about him? I didn't say up there, yo, I'm here to fight on behalf of DBN. I didn't say no shit like that. Pussy. You know why I fucking said that shit. You act like me don't got no smoke. You act like if I saw you in the grocery store, I want to fucking shake your face very aggressively, you heard? That's what I was doing, bro. Talking about yo, even DBN was in the chat looking at him like DBN. I mentioned this shit on KT. Shout out to KT. I mentioned this shit on KT's panel earlier. He didn't even know you was live, bro. Respectfully. Out here thinking you macking. Yeah, I'm macking. You know what he said? You know players fuck up. He told Rose Gold, you know players fuck up from time to time too. Player? Bro, you be getting played, bro. Respectfully. The person that used to ride or die for you, my nigga. Shout out to Tay. I ain't got no smoke. I'm just saying, I'm mentioning your name. I don't think I'm saying it in a bad light. I'm just saying, you and Humble, Tay and Humble, we're over there rocking with you. You're behind the scenes, trying to set them up, trying to put them against each other. Instead of just leaving that shit, you got mad energy for them, you heard? Talking about you're gonna have Shorty go to the borough and do straight twat, bro. I heard what you said. You said it over with Mikey B. When I arrive, I'll show you paperwork, you heard? From the lab, nigga. You heard? Alright, next, the other person I was gonna talk about is so last night OG did the wrap up. After the wrap up, I don't remember what I did, but I ended up going to bed. You know what I'm saying? I had to wake up early and shit like that. I go to bed, I wake up. I was wild tired too. I went to bed late. And the night before I went to bed real late. But anyways, I wake up and I do what I gotta do first. I don't look at my phone right away because you know what I'm saying. I got things I gotta do. You know what I'm saying. I eventually look at my phone and I seen I had a message with a screen recording of Culo del Boys, you heard? On his panel last night with Goya. Shout out to Goya. Shout out to Rose Gold. Gris Mula was up there. Shout out to y'all. You heard? somebody, I don't remember exactly how the conversation came up, but they started talking about Henny. You heard? Let me tell y'all something real quick. This is no disrespect to cool little boys. You can suck a fat dick with your mother's lips. You heard? But to the other three bros, this ain't no disrespect, but you know what I'm saying. This is just from what I got from the conversation. Before my baby mom left, I told her I wanted to leave. You heard? Respectfully. I told her she wasn't working out. You heard? She just couldn't handle the thought of my intention wasn't to take the kids. I know the kids need their mother. You heard? I told her to give me a couple of weeks. I was gonna find a place and move out. She couldn't fathom the thought of having to stay with the kids. I'm assuming, cause she boogied before I got to boogie. After she agreed with me, right? That means I had already lost interest. I was already up out of there. So Henny's not chasing nobody. Henny's not chasing nobody. I'm not after nobody. You heard? Especially her. Let me tell you another thing, right? Culo del boys. Culo del matruski down your throat, you heard? Grizz asked you, last night, yo, so you sent his kid money, right? You said, no, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Goya was trolling. You didn't interrupt him. He was laughing, and you're like, nah, let me tell you what happened. You said you knew nothing about the backstory. You're another fucking pussy ass liar, nigga. You're another pussy ass liar, you heard? You just know you're gonna look mad twat, so you try to maneuver, but you forget that, bro. People remember, bro. This shit started the end of last May with the whole Stain shit. And before Stain hit DBN's panel, he was on your panel. Respectfully, the night Payne hit DBN's panel, it was earlier that night. Prior to that, you had a live, and he was up there. And then when all this shit came out, you were behind the scenes asking if you could use people's content because you wanted to do a review to try to expose Henny. You heard? You've been on the backstory. But what happened was, when Henny started going live, you never came to my channel. You will see me in other chats. You would say what's up here and there, but you never came to my chat, right? Anytime somebody came on my panel, they would start trying to talk about you. I would be like, nah, he's not over here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no smoke with him. Nah. I do all this shit, right? And then people started sending me recordings. People started sending me recordings, and people started sending me links to your live and shit like that. The next day I would get up and I would see that you was live for 6-7 hours. You would start at fucking 8 o'clock at night, but at 3 in the morning you were letting behind the ball sack come up on your panel and violate me. And once I peeped that you was letting that shit fly when I was letting niggas violate you over here, I was like, all right. But then you started saying little smart remarks and throwing subliminals against me. So I said, why the fuck do I gotta keep fucking not, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, he could suck a dick too. Oh, but since I had never said nothing to you, you thought it was cool that you could do it, but the minute I started doing it, you didn't like that. Then you started shooting back at me. When you went to that chat, you didn't do it from the kindness of your fucking heart. You up there lying, talking about you did it from the kindness of your heart. No. Goya, shout out to Goya. Goya said that shit right. You did that shit being spiteful. You did that shit being spiteful. You see, you've been trying to do content for 4 or 5 years. Mr. Big Penthouse, right? Henny comes around. Y'all try to destroy his character, and Henny was thriving in this motherfucker. You heard? Respectfully. And that shit ain't sit good with you. You heard? You heard? So, Grizz said something, right? Grizz said, but did you talk to the parents before you sent the money? And I said, yeah, I did. So if you don't see nothing wrong that you don't know my child lives in a whole different state, here in Alabama, you don't see nothing wrong with sending somebody's child money at fucking 2 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning? That's what I said. I wasn't fucking, you talking about he mad because he didn't get a piece. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I strip you butt ass naked, nigga, and throw your shit in the sewer. You heard? With pockets full of money and all that shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You heard? But you know what? If you would have said that last night, yeah, I did that shit being spiteful. Yo, I did that shit at this time in the morning. Yeah, and he wasn't mad that I sent it. And he was mad about at the time that I sent it. If you would have said that, you know what they would have did. You know what they would have did. They would have clowned you for that shit. You heard? Respectfully. So you have to make it seem like it's something that it wasn't. You heard? And that's cool. And that's cool. Y'all, hold on a second, y'all. My bad, y'all. You know, you wasn't that's not being sturdy, you heard, Cuba? That's tucking your tail. Respectfully. That's tucking your tail, you heard? You heard? Henny's mad because I didn't send it to him. I didn't know I was doing it from the kindness of my heart. All of it was a lie. You did that shit because you was being spiteful. You put my kid's name in your title because you was being spiteful. But you know what the problem is? When somebody said, was it you doing it from the kindness of your heart, or were you doing it because you were spiteful? The only word you understood the meaning to was kindness. You heard? You had no idea what the fuck spiteful means. You heard? You did it. You were literally, nigga, you try to do fucking content, you can't even fucking speak right, bro. Somebody asked you how many people you got in the building. You said 60, right? Because you had Goya Rose and Grizzly up there. Only reason. Other than that, you would have had 3 people in there. You heard? What you should have talked about, Henny hasn't been bothering you. What you should have been talking about was them blue booties you had in your fucking over your sneakers. You heard? That's what you should have been talking about. 1609 salute. That's what you should have been talking about. You should have been talking about the fucking. You should have been talking about those blue booties over your sneakers. You heard? You know how I could tell? Listen, and I'm not saying I didn't believe OG. I'm not. But I know the art of war. Sometimes people aggravate the fuck out of somebody, but I know by the way you carry yourself, Cuba or Culo. My apologies. You heard? I didn't mean to call you out your name, Culo. You heard? You're very If you had something, you wouldn't mind showing it to try to push other people down. You heard? If you had a penthouse, you told Rose the other day, nah, he doesn't come up, and Rose said, I know, you said, I've been asking, I've been telling OG to come up, and he doesn't fucking want, and I'll show the penthouse, and Rose stopped doing your tracks and was like, hold on, he does workout videos every morning, and then he said, no, BK Go, salute, Rose said to him, yo, he comes up every day, and then Cuba says, no, he only has half his face in the camera. Bro, the man stands in front of the fucking camera, bro. Oh, he just started doing it? Like, bro, he's been working out for doing live since last year, bro. What the fuck is you talking about? Showing his face. Maybe in the beginning, maybe he didn't want to for privacy reasons, but he eventually did. If he was going to do workout videos, he was going to have to wear fucking pool shiesty. He's been showing his face, and Rose go, told you about it. If OG got online and said, yo, Cuba, you don't have moon rocks, you'll go live and you show moon rocks. Yo, Cuba, you don't got 86 monitors in your room, you'll go live and show all your monitors. Yo, Cuba, you ain't got a cloudy ass, dirty ass fish tank. You're going out and show a cloudy, dirty ass fish tank. You heard? You posted a couple weeks ago some dog. The shit, I think the shit was muted. Respectfully. On the same shit I was telling Prince. You heard? Y'all feel like y'all gotta say something to look cool, and then once y'all do it, y'all like, damn, now I gotta ride with this guy. I'm gonna look wild crazy. That's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what you look like, bro. You cool. You out of all of them, look wild crazy. You know how many Wednesdays you had to you know how many Wednesdays you had to go clean those penthouses for the $200 you sent my kid? You heard? You know what I get? I get some kind of satisfaction that I didn't really have to go crazy. You heard? I really didn't even have to do it. Respectfully. I get up here and talk some shit. But you got exposed, nigga, for being a fucking cleaning maid bitch. You heard? Stop calling you Rosie from the Jetsons. You heard? No motherfucking maid. Motherfucker got a little apron type bitch ass nigga. You're an apron wearing bitch ass nigga. Some princesses sit down to pee bitch ass nigga, and you're an apron wearing bitch ass nigga. You heard? He thought he was a flexing. You heard? Listen, and when he was sitting, I don't remember. He was on. I don't know whose shit he was on. He had. It was on his own shit, I believe. He had the camera on, and he was sitting in front of a window, and I could just tell that he was trying to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't acting the way he acts when he's in uh his Bronx apartment. You heard? He wasn't acting like that. Then he's like, look, let me show you something. You thought you was gonna go and flex. You showed us 2 ping pong tables, 2, not 1, 2. And then that big old mirror betrayed the fuck out of you, bro. You heard? That big old mirror betrayed the fuck out of BK Ghost. You ain't see the culo de boy's fucking camera slip in his penthouse? Go to my Matruski 81 page, you heard? Go look at my short. Respectfully. You see he got the little Comcast booties on, you heard? So he doesn't, when he's vacuuming them people's fucking penthouse, he don't dirty up their flow. And shout out to you. Cuba, shout out to you that you're a working man, you heard? You heard? You can't spin us. OG's been telling us for months. Not only OG, other people's been telling us too. But he was the main one with his foot on your neck. You heard? I said to you months ago. So, yo, you saw my ex dropped my son's cash app in the chat. No, I didn't. I thought it was hers. And she was gonna give him the money. Okay, I remember what I saw, nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna argue with you. Cool. A couple of weeks ago, I found that screenshot, and I hit KT's panel. You heard? And then and again, the same shit that the Perk Princess did. Okay, you can stop playing that, cause you got caught, nigga. Instead of just keeping it real. You heard? That's a fact. See what you did? The shit that you did was you did some ugly shit, you heard? That shit was ugly what you did. That shit was ugly. You thought that shit was gonna be cool. You thought you was gonna humiliate me, you heard? So I just waited patiently. You know what I'm saying? I just waited patiently. I wasn't somebody else was live actually. Somebody else was live. And I wanna say OG Bobby Johnson was live. Something told me, yo, listen, usually when I'm in the chat, I'm entertained, I won't leave to go anywhere else. I backed out, pause, and I'm not even subscribed to you. What are my kids? I'm not subscribed to you. And I saw your shit that you was live, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I clicked it, and here you is. Just happening to be walking in front of a mirror. I'm like, there's no way. Yo, God works in mysterious ways, you heard? Patience. I say this shit all the time. I got mad patience, you heard? Mad patience. Last night, Rose said, yo, I'm coming up there or some shit like that. And he was like, and Rose said, yo, I'm gonna go to your crib and I'm gonna go live. I wanna see your penthouse. He was like, oh, you're gonna come down to Manhattan? Now, Rose put him on the spot. Rose said he's gonna go live. Maybe he's not gonna show the penthouse, but you better have a motherfucking penthouse. Cause yo, you know Rose is gonna you know he's gonna turn the sector up with that, you heard? He's not gonna lie. I don't think he's gonna lie. Respectfully. I got a super kick out of that. And I could have said this shit on my other joint. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna try to get this shit up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But this the messy shit, you heard, with the streaming and all that. You heard? Hey yo, Prince, like I said, bro, you be out here. You made some demands the other day to get in the ring with me. You set it up, And when I arrive, I'll personally show you this. You heard? Respectfully. Gulo, you live, Nicole, salute. You live much more at peace now that we know the truth, you heard? Now that should be a huge weight off your shoulders. Now you don't gotta run around in highs no more, you heard? I don't give a fuck what you say. You can say, yo, my wife doesn't want me to walk in with my shoes, then bitch, you would have took them shits off at the front door, nigga. You heard? When flexing goes wrong, when penthousen goes wrong, you heard? It bees like that sometimes. That's a fact. It bees like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I want to come up here. I got this, I've been going live on my other channel for maybe about a week already. You know what I'm saying? Here and there and shit like that. But I forgot I had this little microphone joint. I was like, damn, let me see if how that shit works. Because I use it for other stuff, but I never use it to go live and shit like that. I don't know if y'all can hear me good and shit like that, but I gotta put away my groceries and shit like that and do a few things. You know what I'm saying? I just want to come up here and, put that shit out there. Yeah, I'm saying that's a beautiful view. I don't know if you're talking about from the penthouse. That's a beautiful view. You know what I'm saying? He has to be in such a relaxed state of mind when he's cleaning the windows and vacuuming and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the night, he's back on fucking the concourse. You heard? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that. But you know how many times this man went around? That's another thing. This was his last live a month ago or some shit like that. He's not fucking with the dirty sector no more. But here he is, gobbling Matruski at fucking 3:30, 4 in the morning, and he's sleeping. That's a fact. That's a fact. He kicked and talked so much shit about people because he lives so good and he lives in a penthouse and everybody's so po. You heard? You gotta own the motherfucker. You heard? You gotta own the motherfucker, not clean the bitch. I mean, and shout outs to you, but you made it seem like you own the motherfucker, like you live there. Yeah, you go to a penthouse every Wednesday to clean the motherfucker, take the trash out, clean the fucking toilets. That's a fact. That's a fact. Respectfully, hit the like button. I ain't got no content for y'all, but you know what I'm saying? We just here talking shit. If you come in the building, even Cuba, listen. Just because you're a maid doesn't mean you can't come into my chat and hit the fucking like button. You heard? That's a fact. And you know what's crazy? That can guarantee you go there just so you can turn the camera, so you can show people that you're up there for whatever reason. But I can guarantee you be up there sitting next to that window or by that ping pong table on that porch, wherever the fuck you sit at. And you got your wifey cleaning, you heard? Instead of helping that lady. Somebody says, yo, Kuma, you ain't got 17 monitors in your setup. He's showing every single monitor. He's showing Moonrocks. He's showing Bud. He's showing this. He's showing that. He asked OG to show his face. OG goes live every single morning, damn near. Now you don't have to pretend no more, bro. We seen the fucking booties. We seen the booties, and best believe, maybe a lot of people didn't say nothing, but best believe a lot of people, including Mr. Crook himself. I'm not gonna call him out his name because he hasn't said nothing, but you know what I'm saying. Even him himself He's probably like, damn, they caught him. And whoever vouched for him, whoever vouched for Culo de Boys, shame on y'all. You heard? If y'all vouch that he does, in fact, indeed, has a fucking penthouse, you heard? Facts. Yeah, that's a fact. He boogied out of fucking VIP. He said he he probably saw that shit a while ago. Like, damn, this nigga don't really got a penthouse, and this he already out here pumping that bad work. Culo de booties. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yo, there was no line to my eyes. You know, anytime, you know what I'm saying, the internet, something that they gotta come over for cable, for whatever, they wear those booties, yo. I know what's up. I do electrical work. We have to use those booties when we go into a place that has, not even in a house, period. Respectfully. Go to my, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna share the link. Oh, yo, y'all got, let me, I'm about to drop it right now. Hold on. Give me a second, Brody. Give me 1 second, bro. That's a fact. I hope this is a lesson for you. You heard? Just like the Perk Prince dude. A few weeks ago, I asked him. I said, "Yo, so keep it real. So keep it real. Did you I said, "Yo, keep it real. Did you call me on video to try to Did you call me on video to try to and started working out when I answered the phone?" He said no. Hearing me say it out loud, he was like, "Oh shit. Oh shit." You heard? Go to my shorts there. Both of those shorts up there, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, BK718. You heard? Get to cooking. Respectfully. I haven't really haven't uploaded anything to the StreamYard, you know what I'm saying? I haven't, just a little background shit, and I don't really like it because you can't really see nothing. You can only see a big square, you heard? But I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. That's what you get. That's what you suckers get, right? When I'm not bothering nobody, I try to move around in peace and shit like that, and y'all slip these little subliminals. Yo, the old Diddy nigga, or Cuba, Cuba. I prefer your wife to suck it, nigga. You heard? Late night like that, keep my dick out your mouth, bro. Respectfully, bro. You're a whole fucking 60-year-old man, bro, with braids. Oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies to the ladies in the chat. You know, this is the messy channel. Yeah, you see those booties? You know, at least he's considerate and he wore them the right way. You heard? So he didn't get those people's carpet dirty. You heard? That's a fact. The hospital jump offs. That's a fact. Yo, culo, are those hairnets? Nah, they're booties. Oh shit! But nobody was talking about that shit. I'm saying, I know OG mentioned it. I know I mentioned it, but I'm saying last night, Rose. I don't know if you're listening. Hopefully, I'm gonna make this public. Hopefully you listen to it. I'm gonna tag you in it, Rose. Hey yo, shout out to Goya. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should have put him in the hot seat last night. Y'all should have put him in the hot seat last night and be like, yo, what's up with those blue socks? I want to hear the explanation he's gonna give. No, you know, my wife doesn't let me walk in the house with my shoes on and shit like that. Get the fuck out of here. That's how you get slippers and shit like that. You know, people that live in a penthouse are gonna want to be comfortable. You heard? Are gonna want to be comfortable in their crib. Fuck out of here. And he probably thought nobody saw that shit. Blues Clues, Blues Clues. Yo, that shit. When I saw that shit, I was like, there it goes. There it goes. That was God being like, yo. That was like God saying, yo, Henny, hold this down real quick. You heard? I went, I went immediately to some of the top dogs, like, yo, check this out. Say it ain't so. Word. They don't want. He's talking about me at 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, when he should have been talking about those booties. You heard? You know, this is over here is gonna be for not just all messiness. You know what I'm saying? Not just all messiness. The whole shit with what was going on yesterday and the whole spick shit and the whole N word with the hardy R. I don't agree with none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who starts it first. I don't believe in none of that. But yeah, that's a fact. That's another thing. My bad. I be jumping from side, but I be forgetting too. That's another thing. He said he had a fucking boat in the Bronx. He wears his blue booties on his boat too. You heard? That's a fact. Boat life. Yo, rest in peace, John John. That's a fact though. That's another thing. A boat. It's a good thing though. You revealed yourself about the penthouse because now we definitely don't believe the boat. You heard? Now we definitely don't. So it's not like you're gonna have to keep that lie up. You know what I'm saying? That your credibility went down. Those booties betrayed the fuck out of you. You heard? Do a live. Do a live and talk about Henny. I'm trying to get this channel jumping. You heard? Respectfully. Uh, that shit that went on yesterday with the whole Roski and the whole the culo del concourse. You heard? I don't agree with that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes it's the art of war. Motherfuckers will say something to somebody, and it goes back and forth. But like, the whole race baiting and race war shit. I'm not with that shit. You heard? I love all kinds of people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that shit. I don't agree. I don't agree with none of that stuff. Yeah, that's a fact. Rest in peace to John John. It's just crazy. It's just crazy because it becomes uncomfortable when we be in spaces and two other people start arguing and then they start throwing racial slurs for each other and it's like damn, because I fuck with what I'm saying, like I just don't agree with that shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I don't. You know, so that's what I'm talking about this channel for. Uh, sometimes people could just talk about it. Sometimes people want to drop the link. I was going live on my Matuski 81, but I couldn't drop a link. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, let me do this one and shit like that. So, be able to fucking have, y'all know how that shit goes. Nah, yo, my ex gotta be medium side up, medium side up. I it has to be yolk. Like I want to be able to dip my toast in the yolk and shit like that, but I don't want the top of the egg slimy. I know people that fry it to the yolk is completely cooked. I like I like the yellow the yolk to be you know what I'm saying, so I could dip my the bread and the sausage. Not my sausage, but the beef sausage. You heard? Pause. Yes, he salute. Now that's another thing, right? Months ago, I put all my videos on private, and I was like, I'm not gonna keep bringing this because there was a lot of negativity. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, you came in at the wrong time too, Yassi, right? That's just crazy. But it does the StreamYard shit when you're dropping the link, that shit becomes a headache. It becomes stressful. It becomes it causes a lot of drama for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know how that goes. Somebody comes up and says something, and if you let it rock, it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? I understand all that shit, but it does become too much sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes we were just talking about plants the other day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 1609. We was talking about plants the other day, and uh, people want to have a conversation and shit like that. And you can't because you don't want to drop the link, and you don't want somebody to fuck up your good channel and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. So I figured I was like, let me try this microphone and talk about, since I was being talked about at 4 in the morning. Henny was sleeping. I was being talked about 4 in the morning. So I was wondering why y'all talking about me. You should have talked about how you expose yourself for having blue booties and not a penthouse. You heard? And these are the people that that were out here doing the most towards me and mine. You heard? Towards me and mine. You know what it is to look on YouTube and see your son's name on a fucking title of a live and inviting your underage child to join their grown ass fucking late night uh circle jerk? Respectfully, 3, 4, 5 in the morning playing video games and fucking glazing each other. That shit is crazy. That shit's crazy. Facts. Now, ain't Sunny side up like the top of the egg is a little slimy, like even the white part and or like all of it. I think is the way I like it is medium side up. But yeah, that shit was foul. And then you know what he said last night, OG? He said, Goya asked him, or no, Grizz asked him, did you do it out the kindness of your heart? Did you do it spitefully? He said, no, from the kindness of my heart. He didn't even have the. Listen, you did that. We was beefing. You could have said, yo, it's the art of war. I did it because we was at war. You heard? We respect that. You know what we don't respect? When you lie and say, I didn't know the backstory to none of that stuff. I found out later on. I watched, bro, how you lying to these people? You're just a fucking liar. I didn't know Cubans were such liars. I didn't know Cubans were such liars. You lie about the fucking penthouse, the boat. You lie about the fucking cash app. You lie about the fucking knowing about shit. You just lie and lie and lie, motherfucker. Stand up once in a while, bro. I understand. I understand. Some the stain dude bought some stuff over here and put it out. I understand some people when if you're beefing, they use the ammo that they have. I understand that. But if I'm beefing with OG and OG's baby mom goes on somebody's panel and says, "Yo, hit my kid with a cash app," and it, even if I was doing that out the kindness of my heart, I'm gonna look at the time and be like, "Yo, hold on a second, though. It's mad late. There's an hour difference. If it's 12:30 here, it's 1:30 where you're at in the Bronx, right on the concourse, not the penthouse, the concourse." Oh, it was okay with the mother. So let's say Cuba. So let's say you let's say you meet a young lady, right? You think she's a grown woman. The mother tells you no, she's 16, but you can go ahead and date her. As a grown man, you're not gonna stand back and be like, hell no, fuck is because the mother said it was okay. That means it's okay with you. That's how you roll. Common sense as an adult should be like, wait a minute, that you why is that? That's a boy's fucking cash app. That's not that doesn't say. But your name's Melissa. That says Isaiah. You heard? Should be common sense. And then you lying to people saying that I'm just bitter because you didn't send that shit to me. I don't give a fuck about your money, bro. That's just crazy. You know, the motherfuckers do shit and they can't stand that shit and they want people to respect them because they're sturdy. You heard? That's why when that whole shit with Sean Prince and DBN happened, that's why I said nothing happened, but I'm just saying the backstory to the whole shit. This dude was up there talking about it rang and rang. And off the rip, I'm like, I don't see Willie Wham fucking calling and then denying that he called or you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he would have stood on that shit. For real. I just be glad that these bozos be exposing themselves by lying. They lie, you know, or you know, it'd be a difference if motherfucker would have been like, yo, I'm not sure. Then, but no, you made that shit seem like that shit was crazy. You heard? That shit was crazy. I you should try out for and shout out to the people that do. You heard? But I'm just saying though, you can't say that acting deserve an Oscar. Cause no, it didn't. You heard? Cause to me, I was like, look at him, listen to him talking about how stare you in your face and give you a joker and twist and I'm like, come the fuck on, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, but that's how it goes. Hey yo, yes, you know I was for real, I was trying to cancel my subscription because yo, that shit on the 4th is gonna charge me $88. So I went, you know, I asked ChatGPT and I went follow the steps. And when I went in there, it does say that. And if you go into billing, it does say what you said. I can pause the shit so it doesn't charge me. But then, you know, I can also unpause it. So whenever I want to stream and shit like that, I'm like, because it says it on there. I'm like, oh shit, that's fire. Yeah, that's fire. Somebody, I don't know. I think I was talking to KT about it. I was talking to somebody about it, and they was like, "Nah, I never heard of no shit like that." But yeah, I saw it myself. You heard? Yo, you know what's crazy? The StreamYard for when you first sign up to StreamYard with a new email, it will give you 20 hours for free, 20 or 25 hours for free, right? And then after that, your first month was $25, and then after that, I think it went up to 40 something. Now, your first 7 days is $1, right? When you first sign up, it gives you the option to but that's with full benefits. You know what I'm saying? You can use all the features and shit like that. You can get the free shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you want the features is $1 for 7 days, and then after 7 days, it's $88. I'm like shit. I'm about to when I get off of here, I'm about to start a whole nother email. You heard? And listen, I'm just saying for the people that are trying to get StreamYard and shit like that, I would double think that shit because StreamYard's a fucking disaster right now. You heard? You get two people to come up to your panel and shit. One person drops down for whatever reason. They fucks up the whole audio. People gotta keep playing fucking musical chairs and shit like that. That shit becomes a fucking pain in the ass. You heard? 88 fucking dollars, and you gotta keep fucking dropping people and bringing them up and refreshing your shit. Nah, that shit's crazy. I use StreamYard, but I know there's other ones but I don't know nothing about them. I don't know anybody that uses them or how they work. So there's a Restream too, Restream. But I remember when Ming started using that shit. That shit was fucking ass. So I was like, I'm not using that shit, and I don't know what else you could stream on. That's a fact. I don't know what else you could stream on. Hey yo, BK. All jokes aside, right? You say that. I remember a few months ago. Rest in peace, John John again. You heard? I remember a few months ago, John John hit me up and was like, "Yo, what's up with this?" And he sent me a screenshot of culo del no penthouse. Took a screenshot of the people that were on Top Shots, and shout out to Top Shots. Streamlabs. I gotta check. I gotta look into that. We were on Top Shots panel, a few of us, and he took a screenshot of the people up there, and he said something about this is the yellow short bus gang, and I'm like, why this dude's taking shot at us? That's that's really, you know what I'm saying. Me and Top Shots are done with, you know what I'm saying. We ain't got no smoke or nothing, you know what I'm saying. We cool and shit like that. But that was mainly the reason I got upset at him. You know what I'm saying. It wasn't that he was playing that the this dude sending money and he drops people from the panel. I don't care about that shit. I don't. I got my own channel. I can come up here and talk all the shit I want. But I was upset because I went up to Top Shots joint to tell him, like, yo, this dude's playing us. Like, he's calling us fucking Riri's. You know what I'm saying? Like, he thinks he's better than somebody. And God don't like ugly. And God just revealed this blue boots. You heard? Yeah, that sucker shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, and if you do got a penthouse, right? I'm not talking about him because we know he doesn't have one. I'm talking about in general. If you do own a penthouse and you got it like that, but you come to these spaces, to these dirty sector spaces where a lot of people don't are not that fortunate, you don't gotta kick them while they down. You don't gotta get on panels. If you're in a different tax bracket, right? And you consider all us poor, and these are the type of people that can't ever come in your circle, but every day you're coming into their chats and into into spaces where all these poor people be at, makes no sense to me. So do you really come over here to try to flex on us? And then we start joking and cracking on you and roasting you, y'all get mad. That's just crazy. Yo, yo, I always thought Mansoro was and I ain't got no issues with the alphabet people. You heard? I don't. But I always thought Mansoro was like a a Chippendales for men club. You heard? That's another thing. Always trying to talk, like motherfuckers is better than other people, but motherfuckers can't even say, and look, somebody told me this shit behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? We all got people, especially if you're Latino, that speak broken English, and that's 100% correct. That's 100% correct. But at least my people that can't speak English that great, don't be going around putting other people down. Meanwhile, your whole English is fucking broken. You can't fucking read. You read like a robot. And shout out to the people that can read, and it takes them a minute to read. You know what I'm saying? But you're you're always pointing and laughing and mocking somebody. Meanwhile, when you think nobody's paying attention and you try to do content, you can't even read a fucking a sentence. You can't even write a sentence. You fucking do run-on sentences. You know, that shit's just nasty work, and God don't like that shit. And eventually, He shows that shit. That's what they call. That's a fact. And if you do, let's say you do, because there are people that out there a lot of people out there are like that. If you do, listen. If I'm not, so I don't know who told me this. Maybe OG told me this shit, but you're not gonna go and hang out with crackheads if you're not a fucking crackhead. If you see that this group of people are a bunch of crackheads or meth heads or junkies in whatever capacity, whatever form, you're not gonna hang out with that. If you see these people are running around the streets killing people, this is a group that you're not gonna hang out with. You're gonna go, you know, it just makes sense. But to come into these spaces and call us po and laugh at our struggles and shit like that, and then you start to read and you can't fucking read Minnesota. You read Minnesota as Mansoura. It's crazy to me. That's a fact. I hear what you say. You know? None of us is perfect, respectfully. You heard? Even if you got mad money. Well, none of us is perfect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I clown sometimes. I like to roast, but it's to people that have tried to do the work, the most to me, that think they're better than me and shit like that. Yo, motherfucker over here calling me a fucking deadbeat and saying I live this fabulous life in fucking penthouses and shit like that, but then they got blue booties. Fuck out of here. You know? Just humble yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever gotta fuck with these people. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever do. But if you don't humble yourself, you're just gonna keep humiliating yourself. You're gonna keep being bitter about shit that you're pointing yourself to. Because you're the one that's saying that you got these things and you don't. You're making fun of people that are less fortunate when you're in the same fucking boat as most of us. You're doing shit spitefully and then saying it's not. And think that the man above is not watching. You think he's not watching? He's not gonna fucking somehow, some way, he's gonna come around, whether it's karma or divine justice. Somehow, some way, somehow, it's gonna come back to you, man. You know, you gotta chill the fuck out. You don't like somebody, leave them alone. Don't fuck with them. To get up this morning and get a screen recording of you calling me out my name and talking about my family and your panel, and last month you said you was leaving the dirty sector, it's crazy to me. How many lives have I done? I might have said something on KT's earlier, but how many lives have I done? You haven't been hearing me fucking talk about blue booties and no shit like that. Yeah, I made the short. Yeah, I put the short on. I put those 2 shorts. I put them up on Wednesday. But you know why? Just 2 weeks ago, I don't remember when it was. You was on your panel telling me to suck all kinds of fucking dick, and I tried to come up there to defend myself. You told Max straight up, I'm not letting him up here. He could go fucking suck a dick. You said that shit a bunch of times. And I'm supposed to just let that shit go? No, you wanted me to respond when you wanted it. I'll respond whenever the fuck I want. You don't want me to respond in a month? Don't say nothing to me whenever the fuck you feel like saying something to me. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. And listen, sometimes we live by our means, but sometimes we don't live outside of our means. We don't try to make ourselves, we're content with what we have. And then you get these fucking people that are so much better than us, according to them, trying to put us down when we're not even fucking saying nothing, or you know what I'm saying? That's just crazy to me. I know sometimes people talk shit to each other. War is war. But I've seen this shit plenty of times in this motherfucker. Sometimes motherfuckers don't even be saying nothing to people. And They make blanket statement, po-ass niggas. Po-ass niggas. And it's like, yo, bro. Like, bitch, you don't have to say hey. If you're speaking in general, I'm taking that shit personal, bitch, because I'm po. What are you talking about? And you start talking about, motherfucker disrespectful. You feel some type of way, you say something, then motherfucker be like, yo, but I wasn't even talking to you. Yeah, but you didn't mention names either. And if you're talking about po-ass niggas, I'm a po-ass nigga. What are you talking about? That's just crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? But I've been up here for a minute, just, talking my shit. I'm gonna schedule something sometime this week and shit like that, and let some of these sucker ass motherfuckers come up here and give y'all people some entertainment. You heard? Appreciate everybody that pulled up and show love. Salute to y'all. Hit the like button. I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all be safe out there. You heard?